So here we are, social media. We've done 3. We're pretty impressive, aren't we? Give ourselves a pat on the back. So the why do we need to schedule? And because that's what we're all talking about today. We've done our planning, we've done our content, and today we're looking at the whole idea of scheduling and why that is going to help us. And the question is, so why do you need to schedule? And I think the one thing that we really want to do, those who have been in our first Co-Burn workshop, we want to blow up X, where X is the ball and chain of social media. So we know what it can do, and if anyone wants to speak up and let me know if this is you have been through a patch of just completely chained to it in a way that you knew wasn't healthy. It might have been a long way away from somebody else's unhealthy, but it was just unhealthy for you. And because you maybe didn't feel like you knew what you were doing, it just, it was a cumbersome. It was a weight. Anyone relate to that? So quiet. No? No one relates? Okay, well, there you go. I don't mind. I certainly relate. I went through a very, very, very bad. Well, no, I enjoyed doing what I was doing when I was really full on in the thick of it, but I had set my my boundaries too wide. They just weren't serving me, and they weren't serving my family by a long shot. So I found myself going, I am sick and tired of trying to come up with more and more content. So when I came away from social media, and I also went down that negative spiral of, it's terrible, and there's all these people doing this stuff and doing this stuff, and it's negative and blah blah. And when I came away from it, had a real. Then I was able to see the power of it and the place it held in an online business such as. I then started. Way I spoke about it. Sorry, can you hear me? I've got an unstable connection. I didn't realize. I might just quickly head into, I'm on my thing here. Let me know, just speak up if somehow you don't hear me. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah, but it's fading in and out a little bit.
Is it? Oh, okay. I might just have to do this. Stop sharing for a minute. And just head up here to and just put my phone on, connect my phone. I'm on 3 bars with my phone. I don't know why it is. We've got this new TV. So, I say, hey, can we just not keep playing the TV, which is on the back of the wall of my bedroom and the living room. So hubby goes, yeah, no worries. We'll just change the kids' TV upstairs. So now the TV is so loud, and I reckon it takes up all of our internet juice, to be honest. I'm sure that's not really true, but that's how I describe it anyway. So I'm sharing my screen again, and here I was here, and share. Here we go. So we want to blow up X. We want to understand that it has its place, and the other thing we want to do is understand and verbalize why we do our social media. And we talked about that in the first week when we talked about that whole idea of connecting with our audience and creating awareness around us and then our brand. So that's something that we've got to understand all the time and verbalize to ourselves. I don't know whether you're the kind of people that like to have things written up on a board in your study or in your office, whatever it is, but having that continual reminder, and that's where I was going before I changed over to the data, is the idea that affirmations are really important around social media. So, I love the power of social media. I really enjoy being able to reach my audience on social media. I'm really grateful for the opportunity, all those kind of things which turn around the negativity that obviously can come from using social media. And then that third one, again, for those that have been in our workshops, that idea of, your vision of freedom, like what is it that you are heading towards with your business, and understanding that social media is a fabulous tool to get there. All right. So any thoughts on that? I want to share anything coming to mind?
No, but that's interesting, having a vision an affirmation related to that. I hadn't thought about having an affirmation specifically related to social media. That's a good one.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, I do believe in that. I just think that when you really understand that you just, you know, you have a small place in that social media world, but you actually have a place, and to use it for your benefit. So just allow those affirmations to continue to keep you positive. Because, for instance, I have a group that I post to, and I have to understand that sometimes my posts, you know, they might get, and it says there, it tells you how many people have viewed it. And, you know, I've got about 80 in that group at the moment. And I might get 46 views and not one like or one comment. And I might have to, you know, that's where those affirmations have to be really strong, because I know that I'm producing content that is around connection and around awareness. I might not have hit the point on that post, so be it. But I'm not going to crucify myself, and actually I tend to make myself actually not even go back and look for anything on that post for at least a good 6 to 8 to 12 hours, and then go back and do some stuff. There is actually things around that where you probably do need to go back earlier to keep generating content by responding to other people's comments. We can talk about that later. But yeah, okay, I'm going to move on because just keep talking. All right, so where to schedule? Look, this is really small, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to focus on one bit. I think I can. Oh, I thought I could do this. I can on my other one. Sorry, girls. Can you read that okay if you're up close to your screen?
Yeah.
All right, just you can take a screenshot of it if you want, so that you can maybe play with it. But the very, very first one here we're looking at is Facebook. So it has obviously a very broad appeal. 35% of the adult world population, 70% are female, 80% between 18 and 49, 65% between 50 and 65 years. It's not distinguishable by ethnicity, so you're not really understanding or knowing where people are coming from. A lot of college graduates and city dwellers. So, you know, that's an interesting take on what's available out in Facebook land. And there you go. Impact and purpose is your, actually, I'm going to go across. Let me leave Facebook and go over here to Instagram. And tell me if you think this is, I mean, to me, I relate to be younger users. About 1 billion users check in with Instagram monthly. 70% in that 18 to 24 years and 21% in that 50 to 64 years. So is anyone on this call that's in that 18 to 24 year group?
No, not here.
No.
Are we all in that maybe, you know, 40 to 50 to 64? Are we upwards of that? And you don't have to answer. What I was going to say is how many of you are posting straight to Instagram as your main platform?
Yeah, I have been leaning towards there more lately.
Yeah.
I actually noticed an increase of people between that 24 to sort of 40-year age, I reckon, that are using Instagram than what were before. I still think they're using Facebook, but I think they're attracted to that visual side of Instagram as well.
I agree too, Kim. That's why I've gone over to Instagram. Very, very, very small amounts at the moment, but I've started playing it. It took me a while to even consider the idea, but I have no clue. Is anyone else over on Insta?
Don't have it.
You were like me, absolutely. Like I said, it really took me a while. Yeah, totally understand. So then everyone here, are we all on Facebook?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so we understand Facebook. All right, so the other, so you know, and you can go back to this later if you've done a screenshot, you've got Twitter there and you've got LinkedIn. I loved using Twitter when I was in my old profession in phys ed teaching. We just had a huge community across the world on Twitter. And, you know, Twitter is really good. You just put the 1 or 2 sentences in, and then behind that you can put in articles, and you can put in it's a really, really good platform. A lot of people use it for all types of different industries. So you might be worth checking out what is actually there for your industry. You might find that there's some really great, I mean, I ended up following some amazing teachers and thought leaders around education on Twitter. So really, really grateful. on LinkedIn. I'm not a LinkedIn person, haven't done it yet. I know Kelly's just got an amazing LinkedIn profile if you want to go and check that out. Someone was going to say something. What was that?
I was just going to say I've just set up mine in the last couple of weeks.
Ooh, how'd you go? What was the timing like for you to do that?
Yeah, good. Specifically for me, it was trying to use some of my previous information and then I guess showcasing where I'm at now, because I know I've got a reunion coming up soon. And yeah, so, and you know, there's a big age group as you've put there, that's sort of right in where my users graphics are. I would add to what you've got under LinkedIn that a lot of people on LinkedIn tend to be graduates that have, you know, at least one or more degrees as well.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they're college or university graduates.
Yeah.
In addition to that, but it's also been a really good way for me to reconnect with some of my previous contacts from my previous work life as well.
Yes. Yeah. That's LinkedIn, you're saying?
Yes, with LinkedIn.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said. And you know, when we are in our these small businesses, people take it as seriously as we do. So when we are promoting our business and ourselves as a professional business person, you know, running a small business, it never matters how small or large it is. It's always how we see ourselves is therefore how we project that. So LinkedIn, and that is I'm glad you said that you've done it, Kim. I've actually, would you believe was actually booked in for a LinkedIn workshop last week through ASBAS. And I don't know what happened. I can't remember even getting a reminder about it. In my diary and I just missed it. So it's actually on my list of things to do as well, because I kind of think, yep, it's about time that, you know, I really took myself seriously. And when I do that, LinkedIn is my kind of the serious adults area is how I've always seen it.
And I just looked at some of the people that I admire and that I knew were LinkedIn specialists as well. And I went also onto their websites to see if there were some tips, and then went back and had a look what I had already done. And I was actually quite surprised. I was already doing a lot of what they had already suggested. And then I just sort of tweaked it slightly. And I found that I was doing what had been recommended anyway. So I was on the right track.
That's a great strategy too. You know, it's a really great strategy, going after someone who's actually doing it well and copying, or, you know, getting the tips, learning from them. And they're often really quite happy to share all that stuff, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's good. Really good. Okay. Is there anything else here that I'm just looking here at our, this information? This is what Kelly supplied us. Impact and purpose is really, in Facebook, is really about social connection. And I think tell me what you love about Facebook. What is it that draws you and your business to being on Facebook or using that as your main platform? And then I'm going to ask, I did see, sorry, I just got the chat up, would you believe? So I've just seen that a few of you are doing Instagram. So I'm going to be really interested in hearing from, who was it? Someone says they're doing Instagram. Julie. You're doing Instagram. So I'm going to come to you in a minute, Julie. But those of us that are on Facebook, what do we like about it?
I use Facebook and LinkedIn for networking. So I've just launched as a VA. So networking is really obviously very vital for me getting work. But I like that Facebook is a bit more relaxed and more social, and I think it reaches the right demographic for, well, a portion of the right demographic of what I'm searching for.
Yep. Thanks for that, Gemma. It's really good. I do like that too about Facebook. It does feel a lot more relaxed. And that's probably why I for many years, well, for a good while, shied away from Instagram, because I felt that it was a world of, you know, I used to call it Insta, you know, that's an Insta photo, it's an Insta shot. And it was that whole filtered, you know, lovely white color, everything was white. And I was like, that's just so not me. But then I went and had a better look and could see there was a lot more going on there.
It's more realistic now than it used to be.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. And that's probably what it is then. Yep. Anyone else want to tell us what they like about Facebook or Insta, and then we'll move on?
One of the things that I have seen, I haven't done this personally, but I have seen an associate of mine do this really, really well. She's in the health profession, and she uses Messenger very, very well to contact her contacts and to promote what she is selling, but also to promote one of her connection groups that she's in, one of her women in business groups. And so, yeah, she's a very good example of how you can use Messenger, which a lot of people don't think about. That's another thing that you can use as well as part of the Facebook strategy.
Yeah, I had a business. My husband and I had a business in accommodation, and we ended up using a lot of Messenger to connect because I was always working. So I needed to have keywords that people were asking about the accommodation, and they were pretty predictable. You know, what are the rates, even though they were on the Facebook page. Is there availability for this weekend? You know, just different keywords, and Messenger would always get back to them until I employed someone to actually do this for me, and it was my job. I could come home from work and have a quick look and double check it, and it was amazing. So yeah, I certainly second that. If you can get all that up and running, and it certainly takes the load off the questions that, like I said, people ask questions that are actually, the answers are actually on your Facebook page or in your website. Yeah. But it's just easier for them to quickly type it in, which I guess is the equivalent of the olden days when people would just quickly pick up the phone and phone you, and they'd always get through to you, right? Because all of us used to pick up our phones. So yeah, that's a good one. There's also there's Messenger, using Messenger, and the Messenger bots is a part of that system as well. That's really good. There's just so much. Honestly, they keep coming up with more and more stuff. All right, so where to schedule, we've done that, and I think I just went backwards, did I? Yep, I went backwards. Okay, when to schedule. This is really important because what we've got to always remember is that firstly, you've got to know your platform high and low times. So you can't get past that. If you are posting obviously at a time that is just not cognizant with the people that are watching you or in your market, then I guess it's almost like putting out washing on a day where there's a massive bushfire nearby, right? You only have to do it again. It doesn't mean anything. Sorry, that probably wasn't the greatest analogy, but just the idea that you're doing all this work and it's just not getting appreciated. So it's worth doing the homework and finding out, doing your research through Facebook and Instagram when they're high and low points. And then the other thing is, you got to know your market, right? You've got to know that whoever you are reaching, your avatar, your specific person, when are they most likely to look and scroll? So does anyone know that answer? Does anyone have a really good idea of when they should be posting?
No.
Yes.
Yes, who said yes?
That's me, Julie.
Okay, Julie, tell us when you know about when you should post. Whoops, go back there.
Mine's mostly anywhere between 5 to 6 p.m.
Yep.
But I'm only on Instagram. So I find that has worked in the past, but I find just with Instagram, the algorithms really play havoc to who sees your post.
Yes.
And how regularly they see your post. That is my biggest problem I have. And hashtags are a huge thing with Instagram, getting the correct hashtags.
Yeah.
And I find that makes a difference. But 6 p.m. is mine. And I think there's 10 o'clock in the morning or after school drop off.
Yeah. There is the way that you find out. I don't know about Instagram, but I know that the way you find out you need to go into your I think it is, or in your business suite, which we'll go there in a second, in a few minutes. But somewhere in there you find the troughs. But correct me if I'm wrong. The last time I did this, I think I had to convert it for the US time. Has anyone done it recently Has it
We're
come up
losing
now?
you, Kate.
Oh, are you? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Ugh. Do you know what? I used to have this internet issue when I lived out in the Swan Valley, right? And then we moved to nearly inner city. I'm still having the same darn problem. Can you hear me now? Are you okay? Can you hear it?
That's a bit better.
Yeah. Okay. So important that you know your schedule. Go and do the research. Do not post outside of the times that your market is there. And that's part of that whole number one where we talked about why do you schedule? You don't want that whole burnout thing. So do it and stick to the times that you find out. And if you do a bonus post because something's moved you and you want to put it there, do it right there and then or live, then that's a different story. But the content that you are committing to, the 2 to 3 to 4 posts a week or more, that's the really important part that you actually stick to and keep and know when to schedule that, okay, for the maximum impact. All right, let me move along here. Let me see if I can, I've got that chat box. I'm going to move that over here. All right, so how do you schedule? So we've got our Facebook business suite. So I'm going to go to new share and let's go to my desktop, share, go out of here. Oh, I already am at my desktop, aren't I?
Would you make up your mind if you want to be in here or out? Out then. How'd you go?
Kim's talking to a cat or a dog or a child.
Sorry, I should have muted myself. That's my dog.
It's your dog. I love it. So it's this one I'm trying to share. Does this, hang on a minute. I've got to get out of this one. Why am I not coming out of this one? I've done a stop share and I'm here with you guys. And then I just want to go back to here. All right, I got to go back to, sorry guys, I've got to go back to, where are you? All right, so share and desktop. Oh, I just really don't know what I'm trying to do here. Seems to, okay, end show. There we go. All right, we're getting there, people. We're getting there. So my Facebook business suite. Here we go. All right. So very hard when I've got all in the gallery. Can you make the gallery smaller? You can, can't you? Yeah, there we go. Made the gallery smaller. So here is Facebook Business Suite, and I've got a couple of accounts. I've got my own business, which is Goodness Gracious, and then we've got Pink Owls. Is everyone familiar with Facebook Business Suite?
No.
No.
Okay. All right. It will apply to you if you have pages. If you don't have pages, it won't apply to you because it only works on pages. All right. So do we want to keep going with that? Has anyone got a page on Facebook?
No.
I do.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, you do. There's a few of you. Okay. All right. So you create this from going through your actual page. So let me find, where is my, so here's my page here. And you'll notice that it has a thing here. It says manage your page and Instagram account together with Business Suite. So I'm not sure if that came up and then I pressed go to Business Suite and created the accounts there, or I just went to Googled basic Facebook business and got in that way. But anyway, I set it up and I did have to go through a lady in ASBAS. Her name is Kasia, K-A-S-I-A. She was a fabulous help in with connecting these two. I had some problems with the Pink Owls and the Instagram. So if you get stuck, it's a little convoluted, just reach out and make an appointment with Kasia because she just sits there, takes over your computer and can actually, manipulate it. Quite lovely. It's nice to watch when someone's doing it. So here I am now, and I'm in my business suite, and I want to post. So I'm going to be able to post because I've connected both my Instagram and my Facebook page. I can actually connect to both. So if I go to my feed and grid, you saw before posts, and this is my both sides here. So this is the post that is going, is today the April 21st? Yeah, so this is the post that went out tonight, I think. And so it went off. See, there's my Facebook page and there's my Instagram account. And then here is my calendar. So this is where I can go into my calendar and create my posts, or I can just come up to this word here, posts. So it's quite simple. Did you want me to show you what I do, or do you think you can figure that out pretty easily?
Are you dragging and dropping, or do you have to put a date in?
Yeah, you create. So for instance, where's I was there. Create post up here in the top right corner. So this is my post and I'm wanting it to go to both places. So let's put in, I don't know, I'm just going to do this really, really quickly. Today, a wonderful day. And then I come over here and I add my photo. I'm going to add this one. This is me having a wonderful day, feet up. And very soon that will come through. It will tell me actually if Instagram doesn't like the media that I'm doing. It'll ask me to make it smaller. So it hasn't done that. But the way you do it is it just comes up and you click on somewhere around here. And there, I don't want to publish it straight away. I want to schedule it. So I come down here, schedule post. So today's the 21st. Let's go for Friday because I deliberately left Friday out for this week. And my time is round about that 6 mark. I experiment a bit. So I'll just do 6 and I do random numbers. Because if other people are setting 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, then you want to have a break and let yours come in after this.
Okay.
Method in my madness. All right, so I've done that. And for some reason, I always just have to go again and do that. No, I go here and then schedule post. So I've done the alternate schedule as in the time and the date that I want. And that should show up now. If I go to my calendar, that should show up on Friday. Yep, there it is. So that's using Facebook Suite and combining Instagram and pages, Instagram business page and my Facebook. You can't use your profiles in the business suite. All right. So then you've either got to go and use other, like you can actually use on your Facebook post, can't you? If you go to your own profile, I don't tend to use scheduling for my profile. I tend to post randomly because it just suits me to do that. I plan it, but I post it randomly on the day when it suits my audience, but also me. But I know that you can post, you can actually put in a post. So let's put a post here and see where is it? Oh, I've got that stupid thing in there. No, I can't see it. Maybe you can't. Does anyone want to clarify that? You can't schedule your own post. Maybe that's why I don't do it. No. Does that ring true for anyone?
Yeah, I don't think you can.
No. What about in Instagram? Can you do that on Instagram with your posts?
You can create drafts.
Okay, that's it, drafts. Yes, and you can do that in Facebook too. You're right.
Yeah.
But then you actually have to, that's the one that you have to do next, isn't it? There's no queuing system.
If you save your draft.
Oh, in Instagram, you can save it? Okay.
Save them, yeah.
Okay, all right. Didn't know I don't know whether you can do that in Facebook. But that's where third parties come in. So I know that Facebook has Facebook Creative Suite. Does anybody use that one?
No. No,
because that's another option. I haven't been into it for a while, but that Facebook Creator, I think it is Facebook Creator Studio. And that actually might be where you can do your, oh no, it's the same thing. It's still pages. Yeah, sorry about that. That led us down the path. But I do know
that they are changing Creator Studio, but at the moment it's only like celebrity users that are doing the better type model.
Right. Okay. Well, then you go to third-party models. Okay, so that's where you can actually, like Canva, for instance, you can content plan in Canva. Has anyone used Canva?
Yeah, it's amazing.
It is, isn't it? It's a really great tool. I've used it a few times, but I don't tend to use it as my storage. But I create a lot in Canva. Is Canva new to anyone?
No, I've used Canva, but I haven't actually done content planning in Canva. So that's
Okay. So it's quite, yeah. So I'm here, over here. If you come to the right here, you can see, I've got to move that again. All the different things. So Instagram post, Instagram story. And if you can't see what you want, and you can see there's a lot, and you don't want to scroll, you know, often I'll just do that. And there it is right at the top. I put that in there, and here comes my post. Recently used a whole bunch of presentations. Here you upload photos from your device. This is photos that they provide that you can use. I'm on the Pro system. To me, in my business, in my small business, paying for Pro has been a no-brainer for me, but that's my take. Has anyone else got the Pro version or happily using Lite? Do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, I don't pay for anything if I don't have to.
Fair enough.
Is the content planner still on the free version? I haven't noticed it on there.
Is it? Is that you, Julie, or Julie?
Oh, Gemma.
No, Gemma, you're saying that, but who's the person who said that they
I've never used the content planner, me, Julie.
Yeah, okay, all right. So that might be worth checking out.
Yeah, I'll have a look. I've got the free account, but I haven't noticed it on there. I'll have to have a squeeze.
Yeah, have a play. There's also, you know, Planoly is another third party, and Hootsuite. There's quite a few, and I did a search, you know, best third party posting apps, and there's some really good ones out there. But the one thing that has always made me go, not too sure about using the third party app is the fact that Facebook, and we know them to be a very jealous boyfriend or girlfriend, whichever one you're I'm on a Zoom call, darling. Just give me a few more minutes left. They don't tend to rate anything that comes from a third-party app. They tend to, you know, the algorithm pushes it down. So just keep that in mind. You might get really organized and have a great third-party posting app, and that just, you know, is something that works for you. But just know that it's, you know, the consensus is that they don't post it as high. All right. Anyone using a third-party app that wants to tell us about what works for them?
I've used Planoly and Preview.
Okay, Preview, what's that like?
Yeah, it's okay. It's a free one. I didn't really plan it sort of a month ahead.
Okay.
I did it sort of just to visually organize my images, which I found helpful.
Okay, that's a really good point. Visually organize your images. I like that. Yeah.
So I've used Planoly when I've helped a friend out with her business on her Instagram.
Yeah.
And that was really good because I did that a month ahead. So I would spend a day or a few hours creating content for the month and have it all planned. But it was a bit glitchy. So sometimes you'd have it prepared to go and then it wouldn't post. Yeah. So, or you'd lose it and then you'd have to go and find it. And it was a bit of a pain like that. And yeah, when you said that about Facebook not liking third party, we found that sometimes her posts weren't getting as much traffic as what they used to. Yeah. And I'm wondering if that is why. Yeah. Was never really aware of that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an interesting one. It really, if you are good at recording, and we're going to talk about that last in a minute, is the whole idea of recording and keeping a record of your analytics. If you're good at that, then you're really going to help yourself actually find out what's working well and what's not. I just think sometimes we're doing so much on the fly that we forget to do that, and we don't help ourselves as much as we could. The other thing I was going to show you really quickly, if you are interested in this whole idea. So a while back, I went into, and it really is quite, I just say it out loud because I think it may appeal to someone. So Trello, if anyone knows what Trello is, it's a boards system. So you have boards that are on your screen, and you can progress, do a workflow with the boards. These people here have created this, which I went out and bought and I used and really helped me. But I did find that I really had to put the time in to use the tool. But you might be someone, I think it really possibly would work for someone who's very analytical and very spreadsheetish. And I'm halfway there. I'm not fully there, but I'm kind of halfway there. I do like that, but only a little bit. So Content Creators Planner for Trello. So they pretty much have these boards that they teach you how to use, how to create a monthly campaign. Then they teach you how to make a content strategy map, then a monthly calendar, and then a weekly content calendar, and then the analytics. So this is I just pulled this up because, it's a 3-minute video, but, it's I don't know, I could quickly just show you a little bit of what the boards look like. There you go. There's the boards there. So this is the monthly campaign. And, they say you've got to start with your business goals and then your topics for that month. Or even actually you can make this go for 6. You could make, oh no, that's a monthly campaign. Sorry. So it would be for 30 days. What kind of calls to action you're going to have. And we haven't even really talked about that tonight, but that whole idea of having a next step in every single post that you have. Even if it's just a comment that you want, but somewhere for people to go to discover you more, all right? And then end goals. So I'm seriously just letting you know that things like this exist out there. And if you wanted somewhere to be able to house everything, do all your planning, then something like this would be great, I think. Yeah, I've used it and it's worked for me, but I just don't use it all the time. I tend to have to make myself go a little bit more simple, keep it simple, stupid, right? And that's why, when we made that not the calendar, the planner, I try and stick to that now just to keep it simple for myself. Yeah, any questions? Before I go to that last slide, before I go back and put it all up, is there any questions about what we've talked about while I've got the screen open and can go to something if we need to?
Not at the moment.
No. One thing you have to go, Jeanette. No problems, Darls. You will get the link to this, so you can go ahead and look at that another time. One thing I would probably draw out for the rest of us is to consider your bio and think about that second step. So when people find you, and they find you from things that you're posting in groups. So one of the things you can do, which is a great strategy for building your own traffic organically, is to go and join groups that interest you and interest your target market. So if you were, working with mums and bubs, then you might go on, obviously, and there's quite a few of these groups, it wouldn't be hard. You might go and find some groups, 3 groups, and you might pop in there, probably put a timer on. You might pop in for, 15 to 20 minutes a day, read a few of the questions and add value by answering the questions without anything else, just giving value, just giving answers to questions if you know them. If they are questions, if they are going to be answers that lead them to your product, you don't want to do that, because the person who owns that group will be like, are you serious? You can't do that. But you can create enough value in your answer that people then go looking for you, and they type, they press on your name and they come to this page, which is your bio, which is your profile. And then they can see here, I'm a life and business coach. You can live your best life now. That's my message. That's my mantra. And then join me. She Lives Her Worth. That's my group. And when they click on that, they come in, they see that there's no barrier to entry. There's no email address that I'm looking for. And I think there's one question How did you hear about the group? You know, easy, found it on your profile, bang. And then they come in, and a group, and it's a big commitment, but a group then allows people to get to know you, because we've talked a lot about that in social media. There is a lot of community, that when you raise community around you and around your product, you have a lot more, you build obviously a lot more trust and a lot more authenticity. So it's that call to action I just alluded to before is this is obviously one call to action. You can always be saying, come into this group, or you're doing a training in that group. It might be a bonus training and something to do with your industry. And it could, it could be how you, I don't know, I guess I should just use my own. So, 3 steps to, today I did one, it wasn't a training so much, but 3 ways to have difficult conversations, 3 tips for having difficult conversations. So I just did a post and did a video, put that in there. And then I might be saying, hey, on my profile, I might be talking about that, but then saying, come hear about this free training or this free bonus or this, whatever vernacular you want to give it, whatever, words you want to give it, and then people come into that. So that call to action is really important. It could be your website. It could be a landing page. It could be, maybe you're so much more visual and better on Instagram, so therefore you've got something happening on Facebook which leads them back to Instagram, or vice versa. LinkedIn, where you're going to send them to find out. You might be on YouTube, might be putting a lot of your videos on YouTube. Well, do that, and always have them linked back to possibly your website, because you always want to remember that at the drop of the hat, Facebook and Instagram could take off. And if you've got all of your content in a group on Facebook or on your pages in Instagram, Facebook, you may well lose it all. So you need to always have another thing going on. And from that place of, people coming into your group, they would then be seeing, and it's not necessarily where you put a lot of your product, you would definitely put some of your product in there, whatever it might be, because it's going to be based around your reasons for having that group. It's not just a group for anything, it's a group because it's based around your message. Everyone's very quiet. Is everyone still there?
Yep.
Okay. Is this meaning anything? Is this helping in any way?
Yes.
Good. Okay. All right. You're very quiet. I'm thinking, oh no, they're just going, what? So calls to action, really a big part of your planning. So let me go back to our last, I've got to think straight here where I'm sharing my screen from, because now I'm here. Was it here? Share, screen sharing. So new share, and I'm already there, Kate. You're not. It's funny when you're on point like this, you sometimes forget things, how you got to where you were. So if anyone wants to say out loud what I'm meant to do right now, I'm trying to go back to that PowerPoint. Hang on, let me just stop share. And, oh, I know, sorry, I know what I'm doing now. It's down here in PowerPoint. All right, oh gosh, it was there. Maybe they're not letting me see it very well here. Don't know why. Okay, no, that's not it. It was sitting behind there, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Just doesn't seem to be there anymore. No.
I think you just shut it down.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is.
There you go.
Here we go. Okay, so we're up to this one, play from current slide. So record and measure. So this was in our first week when we talked about the things that you need to record and measure to know whether you are actually, having impact. So the reach that you have, the engagements you get, the click-throughs that happen on your posts, going through to whatever it is you've called them, whatever action you've called them to do, the sales you're making, obviously, the volunteers that are coming to, help you or become involved because of a call to action you might have had, shares, and then lastly, likes. And of course, likes is at the bottom because likes means nothing, right? People are always watching. People are always watching. So likes are not necessarily an indicator of anything. All right, I've kind of got through that pretty quick. It's nearly 7:50. Do we have any thoughts? We want to end our session with, please speak up. I think everyone's good to speak up. You're all very quiet.
Unmute.
Yeah. Yeah, you might have to unmute yourself.
I had to mute myself before because my daughter was telling my husband off for telling the dog off.
That happens. I've got that. You should, I'm sure you can hear our chatter. There's lots out there as well. So going forward, what are people thinking of doing? Anything differently coming up?
I've noticed that there's a lot of focus towards, on a lot of platforms, towards videos, which kind of scares me a little bit. And we did talk about this, I think, at our last get together with the Women in Business group. You know, because you feel like you're competing against these, you know, lovely young things. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to be like anything, where the more you do it, the easier it's going to get. And it's just going to be one of those things where the reality is the first couple of sessions that people see you do, it's probably going to be, you know, your mum and your best friend. And then as more people see it, you're probably going to get better at it. So it's just going to be a suck and like it kind of thing, I think, isn't it?
Excuse me. Yeah. You know, Kim, I mean, I hear you talking to yourself there, because that's the absolute truth. The only way you can get better at videos is actually just to press play. And lives are great because you can't go back on them. And you know, I guess what, in my experience of doing lives, my experience of doing any of the videos I've done, I just keep that one person on the other side of the screen and I just talk to her. I talk to my avatar. I talk to that girl that needs to hear what I'm talking about. And the rest, everybody else that listens, is a bonus. Yeah. So, you know, that's just, I guess that's all part of the deal of understanding, you know, what your why, which we talked about in our workshop, right? You know, what am I here to do? What am I here to create? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Well, here's my reasons. I got it. And if we can get that down to a sentence, that usually helps us, because that becomes then our affirmation. You know, I exist to blah, 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 blah. And therefore this is, you know, I press play because I'm going towards that. I'm heading towards that freedom, and I'm not going to get there if I continue to allow these barriers or these blockers, as we've talked about as well. The workshop was really amazing, wasn't it? Anyone that didn't do the workshop, you need to come to the workshop. But those blockers that stop us, and why? Like, who's out there saying that you can't do this?
And I found it very useful. I've actually done some practice and not actually posted it.
Great.
But I've done some videos where I've just got on there and videoed myself doing like an unboxing of a sewing machine, for example, because that's one of my things. And I never posted it, but it was just a really good way for me to learn how to do it, learn what the lighting was like in my studio, just to sort of, you know, learn how I looked. I learned how I needed to adjust my newfangled contraption I just received, and, you know, just all those sort of little things that you don't think about. I mean, when I first put the phone in, I didn't even know how to set it up. So yeah, there were lots of things that I had to learn, and it was all this big learning curve. And so of course it's not going to be perfect from the beginning.
It's not. The other option you can do, if you want to really get the lives going, is to create a Facebook group of just you. And a lot of people do it. It's a really, really clever way of, you know, going live, even though you know it's not really live, but it is live to you, and it helps you create that sense of, okay, so this is the, you know, when you've been somewhere before, you know how to get there, just that little bit better, a little bit faster. So by doing it in a group, which has only got you, look, I did it with my very close friend, you know, a couple of years ago. We set up one, and her and I just practiced to each other. And that was really good too, because that held us accountable for actually doing it. And then we would say, all right, this is great. You need to be doing this to your group or to your page. And so I would say a couple of things there. One is either create a group or keep doing what you're doing just to yourself. The other one is to get an accountability partner that you know, you say, I'm going to do this by the end of the week. and do it.
Hmm.
And then they ask you, because you know they're going to ask you, did you do it? And don't make it your mum, because your mum will be, all right, darling. I just think you're amazing doing what you're doing.
Oh no, my mum would not say that.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Oh,
No, she's not a good support partner.
Oh, okay.
Bless her, she did not stand in that queue in heaven.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, any other thoughts before we finish? Because I'm conscious of time and I don't want to go over our, oh, we're doing okay. We've got a couple more minutes. Anyone else want to contribute anything that they've had a thought about? A brainwave? I'm waiting. You're all so quiet tonight. No? Okay, well, in that case, guys, let us say goodbye, and we will see you on the other side somewhere else along the way. You're all going, if you're not on our Pink Hours newsletter, then you will be after this call, and we'll just keep you informed of whatever we're doing. So we have got another online workshop coming up next Tuesday night, which is part 2 of our workshop series. We're doing that online, and then we've got Vic Park. We're doing the workshop 1 and 2. You can find all this on ASBAS. But on this social media, can I just finish with this? If you, the one girl I talked about, Cassia McNaught, she's one that you can go to in ASBAS, and there are some others which are just specific. There's one lady there specific on LinkedIn. So yeah, go and make, you're now registered, so go and find those people. So the first time you sit down with a mentor, an ASBAS advisor, it's free if that was your first thing you did, but the second time will be $44, and then after that $66, which is still really cheap for someone's time for an hour. So keep that in mind. Okay, I'm going to love you and leave you, everybody.
Thank you very much, Kate.
You're welcome. Thanks, Kim.
Have yourself a lovely Mother's Day when Mother's Day comes around.
Yes, absolutely. Everyone else, I've got one question or one comment in the chat, and hang on, just got to see it. I use later. Oh, that was at 7:40. Okay, later. Okay, I'm not sure what that means, Jackie. I use later, and it's basic. That's another one. Obviously, it's another scheduling tool. Okay, cool. It's good to know. All right, ladies. Ciao for now.
Thank you.
Talk again. Bye-bye.
Bye.